So, dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and settle down with your posture. This is our ongoing meditation session. So once we get connected to the other network, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, we'll take a few minutes to understand ourselves, how this meditation can help for us to develop our day-to-day life as ordinary people, and at the same time, how it will help us to develop our spiritual practice. Because sometimes there are some teaching, some monks or some gurus, some people say you no need to practice meditation. And some says it is listening is enough. And some people believe no need this any outside things, just by ourselves. One day we're going to hit the enlightenment. Good luck, you know. So Anyway, if you follow this practice, what will happen and why we have to practice? So we have to understand it very clearly ourselves. So when it comes to meditation, this is a method, this is an art. It's more like investigating ourselves. So why we need to investigate ourselves? Because as ordinary people, we know a lot of things around us. We know about many things, but most of the time we don't know who we are, what is happening within us. So without knowing who you are or what is happening within yourself, whatever the outside information we gather or the wisdom we collect, it's not going to help for us end of the day. It may help for you to maintain your life for a certain while. But end of the day, when it comes to yourself, it is better you should understand. You must understand something about you. So on the surface level that ourselves, we see this body, name, our feelings, our emotions, so on like that. And but if you look very carefully, there are a lot of things inside you which you never saw. There are a lot of things happening inside you which you never experienced, that saw and experience yourself very clearly. It happens there. So as example, it like this: look at your environment. You could look at around you. You may see many things around you, and you think, oh, that is your world, that is your environment. But how about when you take a microscope and start to see things little by little, you will see there are more other things around you. So same thing around that within ourselves also. And sometimes we hold it to the identity, we hold into the memory, we hold it to the body, believing this is me, this is who I am. But how we know, how we get into that position to interpret ourselves, introduce ourselves, identify ourselves through our own mind. How we came to that point? How you know exactly is that you, or there is something behind you never saw it? So the meditation is a method that takes you to deeper, to look into the body, mind, feelings, thoughts, movements, and at the same time, the silence also, being silence. That is very important. And sometimes we think, oh, being silence is it's easy. But no, because when we become silence, we start to understand there is a more deeper, crazy world inside us than this outside crazy world. So why we didn't see it? It's kind of like when you drive so fast and you may not going to see what is around. So same like we saw into these outside things. And because of that, we miss this, what is happening inside. But when you become so silenced, now that inner voices start to hear. From where it comes? And you know, when you get into that silence, that your own mind, your own thoughts, your own history, your own life is start to shout you. And it's become kind of like very difficult for us sometimes to settle down and get into tranquility state. So sometimes people live a life and they never listen to that deeper inner world themselves. That is one reason this becoming happens, because we hold it to this outside world and we don't know underneath this skin what is happening. So then the meditation is a method that takes you there. But in the beginning, this is an art, this is a skill that you have to develop. That's the thing. That's why we need practice. So when it comes to that concentration, there are certain components that you have to understand very clearly and practice. So it's kind of like the component of concentration. There are two things when you practice meditation to develop the concentration as a foundation for the concentration, to reason the concentration, factors for the concentration. You have to gain these two components. So the component means an arrangement of elements. So you should have arrangement of these two, that there are two elements, two components. You have to arrange it properly. And why just closing our eyes itself, the concentration doesn't come? Because that very behavior of the mind, the very behavior of the material, and the very behavior of the energy always go out of the pattern. Is get into a pattern, hold it to a pattern. You need something. Itself, it doesn't come. It's kind of destructure. It's always the mind. It's very easily destructured. Get out of the pattern. So if you allow it to happen itself, what will experience? It's go out of the structure. So that's why the concentration is very necessary to build the tranquility state. So coming to tranquility state, it's kind of like you build a certain structure to stay in one point, because the mind is always go everywhere, as you know, as you experience. That's the very behavior of it. So if you allow it to happen, then you go with it. So now you develop some kind of a method or the pattern or the current or the art to get into a certain kind of pattern and get and hold it to an object. So in the beginning, you need some effort. So by the time you can get out of the effort, but in the beginning, because from this very lifetime to entire this samsaric journey, most of time we used to allow our mind to happen itself. So as a result of now what happens, our mind just go out of the structure itself naturally. So in this human life, we practice meditation. So now we develop an art to get into a structure. That structure in the beginning, as a foundation, we develop the tranquility state. And from there, we go to the vipassana level, insight meditation. So the tranquility meditation we call the chitta bhavana, or the one-pointness. And the vipassana meditation, the other one we call the analytical meditation, or the panya bhavana, or the insight meditation. So this both we have to develop and integrate and use both together. And when the mind capable to do that, you are capable to increase the ability of reasoning and logic with your own perception. Why you need that? Because otherwise, your mind going to go itself with the perception. So then you go, then as a result of that, you're going to be the same person as who you are. So what are these two components of concentration? One is aiming. So the right aim. So as I mentioned from the beginning, why we need the aim? Because the mind itself jump here and there. So that's the very nature. It's like water. So once you capable to aim for anything, that just remember, the mind capable to go with anything. It's not only with the breathing. Mind can go with anything. And it can go so far than you believe. And it go alone itself. It don't need anybody to go behind. No. And that's why in the book of Dhammapada, it said, Durangamang ekacharang asarirang guhasya. So this the very nature of the mind. It's go alone. Law, it has power to travel far away. And it can go into any direction. But aiming mind means you consciously take a decision, and whatever the object you select, then again and again you try to keep your attention towards that. So in that way, what happened, the mind slowly, little by little, going to settle down with it. So the aim. And in this meditation technique, we take our inhalation, exhalation as the primary mental object. So then you have to be very clear with the target, the object. And once you become then, and then you have to be with it. And the other thing is, once you have the aim, again and again, you aiming to the inhalation or the exhalation. So maybe just imagine, now you have intention and then inhalation. That inhalation maybe can go for a while. Exhalation has maybe, as example, long inhalation or long exhalation. Maybe it can go for a few seconds sometimes. So if it is a long time period for you, just try to aim your awareness, concentration, only to the beginning of the inhalation or the exhalation. See, that's a very simple thing. So rather than stay longer time period, at least try. Then you will see that your mind, so far in your life, sometimes it's not going to listen to you even. It has a nature to go itself here and there. So that recognizing the behavior of your own mind will help for you to work a little bit more deeper, because now you recognize, oh, my mind not listening to me even. Oh, my mind is so crazy. So then now you know yourself. If you know yourself, if you know that your mind not going to listen to you, then when you engage with the outside world, be very careful. Because then you know it's kind of like a wild animal. It's more strong than wild animal. You know, and when the elephants become wild, tigers, that the lions, bears become wild, that we can see that they come, at least we can run. Another thing is that in the area that the people know, then other people can say, oh, don't go to that area because there is a wild elephant, there is a wild tiger, you know, mountain lion, they will attack you. So sometimes even if you want to go, you can go with certain kind of tools to protect yourself. But how about the mind? It is so strong and it has many abilities to work in many different ways that you never saw yet. You never experienced the highest of this human power yet. Remember that. You just experience just a little bit of it. So when it becomes so wild, powerful, and how about it can destroy you, it can destroy around you other people also. So now if you know the very nature of your own mind, then you have to think about yourself, and especially you have to think about other also, not to bring any harm to other people. Because this wild, dangerous animal inside us, we don't know from what time, how it's going to attack. So then you become more humble yourself to step back always. Take a moment to step back. When you want to engage with something, argue with something, say something, a little bit take time to step back. When you look into yourself, reinvestigate yourself, and that help for you to calm down a little bit. So aiming is the first one. So develop the aim again and again. Bring the aiming ability. Get the right aim. You know the inhalation, exhalation, and when the mind goes, so just bring it. So then by the time, what will happen? The mind start to get the very clear target towards your inhalation, exhalation. You're going to recognize it very clearly. You're going to see it very clearly. The seeing is the beginning of art. In any sports that they play, like with the balls or any other things, the most important thing is you have to see it, like baseball, badminton, soccer, football, rugby. So this anything. The important thing, you have to keep your eye on the ball. So that is when you see the ball, you can master the game. So the same thing in the meditation, remember, the seeing is important. So aim will help you to see it. So that is the very beginning of your concentration. The most of time people don't see it, but they try to think about beyond that point, and they try to visualize things, they try to wait for things, that something can happen, will happen, they hope. But it's not like that. So remember, seeing is the beginning, and when the mind go here and there, if you can't see it, bring the attention and start to see. So get the aim. Don't try to go beyond that. Get the aim. Again and again, work for that. And then once you get the aim, stay with that. Stay with the aim. So it's called the sustain. Hold it to the aim. Maybe it's for only 1 second and then disappear. It's okay. You see the breath. Now you hold it to it. It's another way it called the rubbing, the mind rubbing the object, rubbing. It's kind of like this, you know, like in village areas, you know, in our villages, sometimes we wash cloth, you know, by hand. So if the any dirty place, so we rub the cloth. So the rubbing, you know, so the rubbing, these two need to get contact each other. So that connection need to keep again and again, again and again, again and again. So like ancient time when the people used the power, find the power rubbing two pieces of woods, and it's kind of like the connection together, always continue. So like that, once you find the aim, you have to settle down, you have to be with the aim. So then sometimes the mind slip again, as soon as possible, come into the primary mental object, see the primary mental object, hold it to it and be with it again and again. And by the time itself, it is start to go and be with the mental. So then it becomes sustained. Your aim going to hold itself it again and again. So then the duration you can increase by the time. So in the beginning, maybe 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. So then by the time 5 minutes, 10 minutes, your mind hold it to itself with the one primary mental object. It doesn't go here and there. And that ability, once you settle down, in that very moment, you will see deeper. There are now anymore no effort to find the target, be with the target, hold it to the target. Now that is where you completely settle down. That is where you're going to experience the peace, the joy, the harness, the newness, the real spirit of your life. Because your mind not depending from something or looking for something, no any desires go with, so it settled down itself. So aiming and sustaining, those are the two the component of concentration. So again and again, it's not like itself not going to happen. In the beginning, first you should know. That's why we share this information. Once you know, try to get into your mind first and use some similes and then be very clear with that and then go to the practice. So once you're in the practice again and again, then you will experience yourself, and the resistance will happen inside you that you should know the very nature of that yourself. And by the time, it will help you to understand deeply the very behavior of that your deeper inner character. That is where you see that the world is outside surface level world that we experience is not the world that live inside us. Once you recognize it within yourself, you are capable to understand with other people the same. That whatever the other people around you, that what you see from the outside, as who they are, not the inside their skin. That's where you become more little bit compassion. That's where you give more little bit opportunities. That's where you capable to handle the situations little bit and give a chance. That's why you capable to not to go with this outside circumstances and just little bit that settle down yourself, and that is where you're not going to hold it to what happened with this outside environment. So that way, deeply you have a wisdom and deeply you have a compassion, not to hold it to this just the surface level of outside world, but deeply to observe and recognize this underneath current. So with that, let's get into practice ourselves a little bit. So your right palm on your left, make it straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. Bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, through the sensation of it, recognize. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavatacha sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammam Pujemi Sangham Pujemi Attaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Ha Paribunjisami Idamme Punya Kammanga Savakkaya Vahan Hotu Sabba Dukkha Pamunchatu. Bless you.